My name is Don Fuchs. In 1998, I spent more than 10 weeks in the field to photograph a book on the Blue Mountains for the Australian Geographic Society. The book's no longer available, but during my time in the field, I fell in love with this wild area. And now, 15 years later, I'm still drawn to it. So let me take you to the Blue Mountains and show you what it is all about.
The Blue Mountains rise 60 kilometers west of the centre of Sydney, after its sprawling suburbs finally peter out. There a vastly different world awaits. Swirling mist and cooler temperatures, deep canyons and enormous cliffs, thundering waterfalls, enchanted forests, and in spring a bouquet of wildflowers. These are the many facets of a magnificent wilderness right at the doorsteps of Australia's greatest metropolis. Let's talk geology for a moment. The Blue Mountains' most striking features are its sheer rock walls and stunning cliff flights. What catches the eye today was deposited during the Triassic period 250 million years ago, when large rivers began dumping vast quantities of sand into a shallow sea. Over time, these sediments accumulated to a sandstone layer 500 meters thick. About 170 million years ago, a period of uplifting began, pushing the sediment layers up, forming a tilted plateau, sloping from 1300 meters at its highest point to mere 400 meters on its eastern escarpment. During this period of upheaval, the sandstone layers fractured, forming deep cracks. Without a doubt, sandstone defines the geology of the Blue Mountains. Less visible is what is hidden beneath those sandstone layers. Shale, mudstone and siltstone. Sediments laid down between 250 and 280 million years ago. And then there is coal and kerosene shale. The first coal mine started operating in 1872, and the remnants of several mines are still visible and form part of the mining heritage of the Blue Mountains. About 150 million years ago, molten rock intruded into the cracks and basaltic lava began pouring from vents. This created prominent peaks that sit on top of the plateau, sentinels of a fiery past and the youngest chapter of the Blue Mountains' geological story. Since then, the weather is shaping the mountains. With high winds, torrential rain, frost and occasionally even snow. Yes, the weather is changeable and it can be rough up here even in summer. Then thunderstorms frequently form and roll in from the west. They bring the force that is the chief sculptor of the Blue Mountains: water. There's plenty of water up in the mountains. It is seeping out of the rocks, collects in little rivulets, turns into creeks and plunges over rocks as a waterfall. These dramatic waterfalls form some of the most visited attractions in the Blue Mountains. The many watercourses follow the cracks in the plateau created by the uplift many million years ago. Over time, they carved dramatic slot canyons into the sandstone, a process that is still ongoing. Further down, where softer shale and mudstone dominates, the canyons become valleys. The Blue Mountains are often covered in a blue haze that gave them its name. This is because of its immense eucalyptus forests. On hot days, evaporating oils from the leaves scatter the sunlight, creating a fine blue mist in the air. These sheer endless eucalyptus forests dominate the Blue Mountains. They cover the top of the plateau, cling on the dry slopes of the valley, create stands of mighty trees. The Blue Mountains region has the highest density of eucalypt species in the world. Out of approximately 900 species, 92 are found here. They have conquered almost all terrains, from areas with very poor soil to very rich soils, from sections with almost arid climate to subalpine environments. These large eucalypt forests, however, frequently form the stage for catastrophic events: bushfires. These images were taken shortly after the Gosper Mountain Fire, a devastating megafire that in December 2019 and January 2020 ripped through a huge section of the Blue Mountains. They illustrate the devastation but also the beginning of renewal. Deep in the gullies, canyons and creek valleys, however, flourishes a very different kind of forest. And the ever-present eucalypts don't play a part here. Secure from fire and brutal sunlight, with plenty of water, thrive temperate rainforest. Sassafras, lily-pilly and coachwood trees form the canopy. The moist understory is dominated by mosses and ferns. Down here is also the realm of the tree fern. Trees and ferns aren't the only plants that make the flora of the Big Mountains so special. In spring and early summer, an astonishing array of wildflowers add colour and texture to the bush. Then it is wildflower season, and the season is especially spectacular after fires. Different ecosystems have different flowering plants. Most prolific are the heathlands and dry eucalyptus forests. Different again are plant species more at home in the waterlogged swamps. It seems the less rich the soil, the larger the variety of flowering plants. The palette of flowers in the Blue Mountains ranges from small and innocuous to showy. So just sit back and enjoy the staggering diversity of flowers that can be found in the Blue Mountains. The Blue Mountains are not a wilderness untouched by humans. The first humans to roam the Blue Mountains were Indigenous Australians. They left their marks in form of petroglyphs, rock paintings and sharpening grooves. Then came the Europeans. Today, a string of villages along the Great Western Highway dissect the Blue Mountains into two parts. Nowadays, the Blue Mountains are a favourite playground for Sydney-siders, national and international visitors alike. Many visit the famous sites close to the highway and the settlements. But more and more venture away from the tourism hotspots at the fringe and venture deeper into the wilderness. Those with a more extreme idea of the outdoors go canyoning. Equipped with wetsuits and climbing gear, they penetrate into a completely different and fascinating world. That it requires abseiling through thundering waterfalls adds additional thrills. The Blue Mountains also attract even more extreme groups of adventurers, rock climbers and those seemingly driven by a death wish, base jumpers. First and foremost, however, the Blue Mountains are a fabulous playground for bushwalkers. The complex topography of the national park is crisscrossed by many walking tracks, from short strolls to multi-day adventures, from relaxing to challenging. It is on these tracks that the Blue Mountains, with all its wonders, can best be experienced. So, put on your walking shoes, pack your backpack, and go out and explore this absolutely exciting wonder world, the Blue Mountains.